My name is Liz, and I have a passion for bringing sustainability to the workplace. I work in Portland, Oregon for a medium-sized organization, and about 2 years ago, I started my own green team. It's been going pretty well so far, so I thought I'd share some tips that I've learned along the way. So what is a green team? A green team is a group of people within an organization who care about sustainability and making change. They can take several different forms across different organizations, depending on what your company does, what interests your group members have, and what support and resources leadership provides you. Most importantly, it's a group of people who care about making positive, sustainable change in an organization and for its employees. So let's start off with tip number 1. Find your people. When I first began at my organization, I knew that I wanted to start a sustainability group. I just didn't know where to begin. I spoke with several different people across the organization, and I finally found someone who had the same drive and focus that I had to make sustainable change within our organization. Together, we formed our first sustainability special interest group, our company's version of a green team. It started with just the two of us, and now, about 2 years later, we've grown to have a quarter of the company be part of our membership. In addition, sustainability has become a crucial part of our company culture, something that none of us had any expectations on when we set out on this journey. So what can you do? First, just talk to people. Find your people. All it takes is one other person to help you lift your group off the ground and get started. Tip number 2, start small. As I mentioned, we started with 2 people in our group. However, we met regularly on a monthly basis and began just talking about what sustainability meant to us, what changes we wanted to see in our organization, and how we might be able to tackle some of those challenges. At first, we didn't ask for a budget and we didn't ask for any change. All we asked was for a platform and for people to listen. I'm lucky enough to work for a company where leadership approval is not necessary to start employee groups. However, if that isn't the case for you, you have a couple of options. One, you can go through that leadership approval process, whatever that looks like. But if you don't have the time and your group doesn't meet the requirements, you could also just focus on having an informal group. Meet with employees over lunch and just talk about the sustainability issues and gain traction with each other. The biggest thing when starting small is to not feel discouraged for not making large-scale changes immediately. It takes time to gain buy-in. Tip number 3, setting SMART goals. Hand in hand with starting small is setting goals. For those of you who don't know the SMART acronym, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. Having goals that meet these requirements will set you up for success. My team's first goal was to get rid of plastic water bottles that we offered employees and clients. It didn't make sense. We had filtered water in the fridge and we had glasses that people could use. There was no reason to add plastic waste to the situation. We brought our argument to the leadership team and luckily got buy-in immediately. We were very happy and very proud to celebrate our first win. While stopping your company from buying plastic water bottles may seem like a small thing, it was a huge success for us. It was part of the status quo and we had changed it. We made sure that we were celebrating those small wins, and you should too. It's one of the ways that you can get your company excited about sustainability. They see that you're making progress. Need help setting goals? Don't worry, there's tons of certification programs out there that will provide you guidelines on what your goals should look like. We found a local Portland-based certification that helped us set goals for the next year. Tip number 4, focus on education. While that might seem pretty basic, you'd be surprised at how many people don't actually know what sustainability is Or they think sustainability is just focusing on the environmental side of things, not realizing that caring about people is a whole other side of it. For our organization, we focused our education around the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. People, focusing on taking care of our employees and our community. Planet, focusing on reducing our environmental impact. And finally, profit. In order for companies to make those positive changes, they are going to still need to make money. So where should you start? Find opportunities in your company to share what you've learned, whether that's in a team newsletter, at a team meeting, or even at a lunch and learn. And find subjects that are interesting to both you and your team members, whether that's composting and recycling at work, environmental justice, or just some sustainability best practices. Having these conversations will spur interest in sustainability, and before you know it, sustainability will become part of your company culture. Last but not least, be authentic. This is one of the most crucial things that your team can do to make sure that you're staying true to yourself and to your company's values. Do what feels right for you and your company. While there's a lot of things that you can tackle, focus on what's most material to your company. One thing to avoid is greenwashing. From Investopedia, the definition of greenwashing is the process of conveying a false impression or providing misleading information about how a company's products are more environmentally sound. Greenwashing is considered an unsubstantiated claim to deceive consumers into believing that a company's products are environmentally friendly. Make sure that any claims that you make about your company's sustainability efforts can be substantiated and that you're staying true to your vision. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to add your own tips and tricks for starting a green team in the comments below. Before I go, have a fun sustainability fact. Did you know that if you switch from Arial to Century Gothic font, you'll save 30% on ink when printing? Who knew? See you later and stay groovy.